Oh, well, towards the end of the year. I just had that one done.
Go ahead and do the pledge and everything.
So we start, I got farming to do later, so. These people don't wanna wait around. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, and justice for all.
Lord, thank you for the opportunity to gather here today. Make decisions to strengthen Shelby County. Lord, in your name, we pray. Amen. We're going to step into the budget, 2006 budget, first reading. Is there anything else that I need to cover right off the bat?
Well, we need to, are you gonna let everybody speak after each department in the first reading? Or do you want to wait until the second reading?
Before the second reading? Or,
Well, after you do the second reading. So for instance, the clerk, what the first column you guys are going to be reading is what we advertised and what they requested, which was 3% step increase, everybody 3%, and then 3% for the commats and the LTCs, because those were the ones that you guys did the salary study on. Okay, so that's what the first reading is. So then the second reading, I've knocked everybody down just to a 3% raise because that's what was, I was told to do after the meeting because we didn't think we were going to be able to sustain the 3% plus the 3%. So it's just whether you want the people to talk after the first reading or after the second reading, or if you're going to let them talk during both readings, it doesn't really matter. I mean,
I think, after the first reading, we give them time to step up to speed. Guys?
I want, just real quick before I answer that, is there a total overall right now?
the whole budget.
Yeah.
So if you pick up the general budget,
That one?
on the first packet you have that starts with clerk.
Yeah.
To the very last page, the total general for the first reading is 19,127,786. And then the 18,983,924 would be after the second reading.
Is the, with 3%, is the health department in that also?
The health department is in one of these other packets.
But it's also included in,
It's not included in the totals I just read you now.
but in the first reading and the
Yeah,
second.
we'll do the first reading on every department, every budget we have. But we usually start with just doing the general, and then we'll go to the health department, and then we'll move on to the different funds. So we always read everybody's budget. Charity won't be here until about 9. We always read everybody's budget.
Yeah.
So
What's the difference in those two figures again, Amy?
the first column is what everybody has requested.
Preston. Okay,
So, and that was the first one we sent out where we asked everybody to request the 3% raise across the board and did another 3% for the salary analysis.
It's 143,
what's the difference?
144 with health department included, it's 145.
But the health department's their own, you guys gotta remember, they're their own tax rate. You gotta look at each one of these because, you know, it does go into part of our growth. Their tax rate is included in our growth. But Greg's on here. If you guys have questions, I know he'll answer.
All right, fantastic.
And Amy, maybe Lee, if I could make a comment.
Yes,
So remember in the sustainability that I passed out, we used the 19.1. We are projecting the revenue being 16.5. So you are significantly over projected revenues for 2026. So obviously we have made the recommendation the 19.1 needs to come down. And so the 18.9 is still incredibly high over revenue. So it'll be something we'll have to carefully manage next year. But going beyond that in the following year may be really, really tough. So raises next year may be tough.
Overall.
Yes, sir. Any questions on, I mean, that's what I passed out several weeks ago. And at this point in time, interest income looks like it will start coming down. Go ahead.
So Greg, those two figures Amy just discussed, that 140 some thousand difference, is that just doing the 3% raise? We're saving $150-ish thousand by not doing those other. Okay,
Correct.
just wanted to get that. All right, thank you.
Yeah, and the challenge is that what I have, Amy, is we're 669,000 over this year.
With the first reading. I mean, with what everybody has asked.
With the 18.9.
With the second reading numbers.
Yes,
Including
ma'am.
the tax hike,
Okay, so that's after do up.
including the added tax, split tax.
No, this is general fund only.
General fund. Well,
I'm just saying the shortfall.
the added tax would be for the jail.
Right, but
And we
it
talked
offset-
about,
it offsets the general. The general doesn't take the hit, so.
yeah, it can offset it if we move jail items out of there, out of the general. Now, the other thing that they talked about was moving some of the jail stuff out of the public safety tax because of the increase in the ambulance, because the ambulance is increasing every year.
They gave him 10% raise.
I agree, Amy. That's what I understood.
Yes, that's what we were talking
I
about.
remember that in the agreement. It goes up,
What?
and the ambulance go up like 3%
3% every year. So we've already had to do, this year, we're having to do a $200,000 additional appropriation out of public safety to pay the ambulance. And then next year it'll go up another 3%.
All right, thank you, Greg. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I think the first thing is the general fund. Then we can talk about the other ones.
So Amy, it may make sense to read through the first reading first
Okay,
and
and
then have
that's fine.
department heads speak if they so
Okay.
wish. But that'd be my recommendation.
Yep.
So you're gonna read from the first column if you're reading off the papers I put in front of you. If you're reading off the computer in front of you, I hid the second column so nobody would get confused. So who wants to start reading?
I'll do it.
Start it up.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So I'm just doing the clerk, total clerk, $345,579.
Well, we usually do the total personnel, total supplies,
Okay,
other, and then total.
okay,
It's everything that you've highlighted. right,
okay,
Amy?
sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
All right, total personal, $325,579. Total supplies, $16,250. Total other services, $3,750, for a total clerk budget of $345,579. Auditor, total personal, $308,387. Total supplies, $20,000 even. Total other services, $712,646, for a total auditor budget of $1,041,033. Treasurer, total personnel, $173,797. Total supplies of $2,000 even. Total other services, $15,200. Total for a treasurer is $190,997. Recorder, total personal, $112,184. Total other services, $3,150. Total recorder, $115,334. Sheriff, total personal, $3,310,818. Total supplies, $557,100. Total other services, $614,459. Total equipment, $55,700, for a total for the sheriff of $4,538,077. Surveyor, total personal, $106,221. Total supplies, $750. Total other services, $14,200, and total for the surveyor is $121,171. Coroner, total personal, $145,622. Total supplies of $2,000 even. Total other supplies, $133,675. Total equipment of $5,000 even. Total for the coroner, $286,297. The assessor, total personal, $252,986. Total supplies, $2,000 even. Total other services, $10,800, for a total for the assessor of $265,786. Prosecutor, total personal, $688,902. Total supplies, $5,350. Total other services, $25,875, for a total for the prosecutor of $720,127. Extension office, total personal, $128,613. Total supplies of $11,640. Total other services of $180,620, for a total for the extension office of $320,873. Veterans office, total personal, $43,607. Total other services, $700. Total veterans service officer budget, $44,607.
Forgot total supply.
What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. $300 for total supply. I'll go ahead and read this. So then for a total for the veteran service officer of $44,607. IT department, total personal, $282,444. Total supplies, $2,500. Total other services, $30,500, for a total IT department budget of $315,444. Council, total personal, $108,447. Total supplies, $500. Total other services, $86,500, for total county council budget of $195,447. Election, total personal, $209,940. Total supplies, $17,500. Total other services, $77,160, for total election board budget of $304,600. Drainage board, total personal, $14,514. Total other services, $2,500, for a grand total for the drainage board of $17,014. Commissioners, total personal, $1,986,433. Total supply, $1,500. Total other services, $139,100. Total equipment is $0. So total for the county commissioners of $2,127,033. Plan commission, total personal, $178,329. Total supplies, $1,700. Total other services, $73,500, for a total plan commission budget of $253,529. Courthouse, total supplies, $150,317. Total other services, $325,272, for a total courthouse maintenance budget of $475,589. Superior Court 1, total personal, $178,576. Total supplies, $4,000. Total other services, $88,300. Total equipment of $8,500, for a total Superior Court 1 budget of $279,376. Superior Court 2, total personal, 401, 200 even. Total supplies, 10,000 even. Total other services, $86,600. Total equipment, 13,000 even. Total Superior Court 2 budget of $510,800. The Magistrate Court, total personal, $105,531. Total supplies, $3,500 even. Total other services, $10,600. Total equipment, $800 for a total Magistrate Court budget of $120,431. Circuit Court, total personal, $173,474. Total supplies, $2,200. Total other services, $27,650. Total equipment, $2,850 for a total circuit court budget of $206,174. Probation, total personal, $740,090. Total supplies, $10,000 even. Total other services, $53,345. Total equipment of $13,500. Total probation, $816,935. Public defender, total personal, $736,850. Total supply of $350. Total other services, $39,640. Total public defender budget of $776,840. Emergency management, total personal, $161,965. Total supplies, $4,345. Total equipment, $56,894. Total emergency management budget is $223,204. Weights and measures, total personal, $17,693. Total supplies, $500 even. Total other services, $4,425. Total equipment, $5,000. Total weights and measures budget, $27,618. Human resources, total personnel, $89,354. Total supplies of $500. Total other services, $31,946 for a total budget for human resources of $121,800. Jail. Do I need to read the new employees? That's highlighted, but different, okay. Total personnel, $2,563,822. Total supplies, $590,978. Total other services, $671,650. Total jail, $3,826,450. Sanitation, total other services, $35,000 for a total sanitation department budget of $35,000 even. Shelby Manor, total other services, $60,000 even for a total budget for Shelby Manor of $60,000 even. Soil and water, total personal, $46,249. Total supplies, $1,600. Total other services, $8,750 for a total for the soil and water conservation budget of $56,599. Prosecutor, is that I4D? Okay. Prosecutor 4D, total personnel, $226,859. For a total for that same number, $226,859. Total victims assistance, total other services, $42,570 for a total budget, what? $507, what'd I say, seven? Sorry, a lot of numbers. $507 for a total budget for the victims assistant of $42,507. Guardian ad litem, total other services, $70,000 even. Total guardian ad litem budget, $70,000 even. Prosecutor stop grant, total other services, $48,656. The total prosecutor stop grant is $48,656. That is a total general budget of $19,127,786. How'd I do? A lot of numbers.
Yeah, it is.
Then your next one should be the health department.
Over you go.
That's all right. Health Department. Total personnel, $587,523. Total supplies, $19,000 even. Total other services, $105,777 for total health department budget of $712,300, $712,300.
Assessment.
Reassessment, total supplies, 1,000 even. Total other services, $355,130 for a total budget of $356,130.
Bridge.
Cumulative Bridge Fund. I see, I don't know what that title of that, but 800, just one, okay. 815,000 even, and that's the total budget, the same, 815,000.
Yeah.
Racino, we have a total of $4,942,595. Edit, total personal, $111,348. Total supplies, $3,850. Total other services, $1,107,720. Total equipment, $581,000. Total edit fund is it fund or the budget? I guess, how do I say it? Fund, $1,803,918. Cap, total maintenance, $317,043. Total jail maintenance, $157,136. Total sheriff vehicles, $484,200. Total computer equipment, $702,500. Cumulative cap development fund, $1,660,879.
Public safety.
Public safety, total ambulance, $1,133,000 even. Total sheriff department, $391,895. Total jail, $371,743 for a total public safety of $1,896,638. Local road and street, total department of $930,000, and that is the total for the fund, $930,000.
Budget.
Highway, total admin personnel, $264,883. Total admin supplies, $2,000 even. Total admin other services, $27,800. Total admin equipment, $1,000 for a total admin budget, $295,683. Total maintenance personal, $734,539. Total maintenance supplies, $410,000. Total maintenance other services, $361,000. Total maintenance equipment, $778,500 for a total maintenance budget of $2,284,039. Total, let's see, total general personal, $1,266,615. Total general supplies, $471,300. Total general other services, $75,500 for a total general of $1,813,415 and a total highway budget of $4,393,137. Highway restricted, total general, other services, $2,300,000, and that is the same of the budget, $2,300,000 for the whole budget. GO bond 2021. $417,950. GO bond 2022. $509,653. County emergency 911. Total personnel, $300,000. Total supplies, $3,800 even. Total other services, $257,500. Total equipment, $275,525 for a total county E911 total of $836,825. PSAP, 1235. Total personal, $2,034,327. Total supplies, 8,400. Total other services, 5,000. Total equipment, 26,250. For a total county PSAP of $2,073,977. Commissary now. Okay. Commissary, total commissary budget, 39,414. Build Indiana, total Build Indiana is $0. Sheriff's special,
You don't have to worry about reading it.
okay, all right. Sheriff's special accident, 25,000. Clerk perpetuation fund, the total is $94,625. Community corrections. Total community corrections of $331,202. Sheriff's continuing education fund, total $17,920. Emergency planning, total for emergency planning, $31,610. Extradition expenses, a total of $1,000 even. Firearms training, total of $27,800 even. ID security protect, This one.
Beverage.
sorry. Food and beverage, total for food and beverage is $943,344. ID security protect, 70,000 is the total for that. Health maintenance, total health maintenance of $235,593. Health adult services, that's $0. Medical care for inmates, 12,000 is the total for that category. Misdemeanor sheriff. Total for that is $45,500. Nothing for the plat book. Recorder's perpetuation fund, a total for that is $282,564. Violent offender, total for that, 5,000. ADR, I don't know what's that stand for.
I don't know what it stands for. So
I think it's adult daily reporting in
I don't know. It's our public defender's budget.
ADR, $3,000 is the total for that. Health trust, $0. Let's see.
Surveyor Cornerstone.
Gallahue Court, or where? Oh, Surveyor Cornerstone. $96,275 is the total. Was that Gallahue Court? Okay.
It is, it's a court.
All right, total for that is $20,003. Education fund for the recorder, total education fund is $10,000 even. Adult probation services, the total for that category is $237,062. Total assessment and referral for that category is $109,709. Pretrial diversion. The total for that category is $70,000 even. North Harrison Bridge, total $72,000. What? Dang it, I'm sorry. FBI justice funds, for that category, it's $20,000 even. North Harrison Bridge, total for that fund, $72,025. Donations, Sheriff's Department, total for that is $25,000 even. Sheriff's restitution, total for that is $10,000 even. Seized property, total for that is $20,000 even. Prosecutors law enforcement, the total for that category is $60,000 even. Public defender service, total public defender service fund is $58,300 even. Now we're on to community corrections DOC grant. Nope, that's $0. Youth assistance program, total for that, $237,152. Your juvenile P1 fund is $23,055. COVID supplemental, total DOC for the juvenile is $175,052. Can't see it. Another juvenile grant fund here, SCCC Juvenile Grant Fund. Total for that, $72,344. Sheriff Drug Free, the total for that is $10,000 even. The Sheriff's Range Fund is $900 even. Assessed data entry fee, $45,900. Sheriff Training Fund, $1,000. Tyndall Farm, total for that, $261,000 even. Vending machines, $2,053. Sheriff's Canine, $10,000 even. Sheriff Tower, $22,000 even. Scheffler Estate, $125,000 even. Lead Grant HD, $9,438, not even, sorry. Adult Protective Services, is there not? I see it, no, it's zero. Prosecutor, 4D October 99. $7,500 even. Clerk, 4D incentive, $37,336. Drug Free Coalition, $56,960. Drug Free Coalition, $79,947. Victims Assistance, $93,858. Prosecutor Stop Grant, sorry, $193,107. Jail intervention, $2,400 even. DUI task force, $16,000 even. Save grant, $10,000 even. BCC traffic enforcement, $31,000 even. JUVD, $6,412 even. Adult community corrections, $94,811. Health CMA grant, $83,034. Co-ag grant, total co-ag grant is $494,042. CC Juvenile DOC grant, total community corrections, $419,961. Or
Read the 48 million, that's the total, all budgets.
total for everything is all budgets, $48,371,995.
We need a motion to approve first reading.
I'll make a motion to approve the first reading as presented.
Motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passed.
So we gotta do the recycling district also. It's one of the budgets that we're responsible for. So if you guys wanna, somebody just wants to read the back page, that's little.
Do it. Done all, I'll just do it.
So if you wanna read that,
Somebody else wants to do it, I don't care.
this is one line.
Finish it off.
6.
So the budget estimate for the solid waste management is $2,647,785.
Then we just need a motion on this one, first reading also.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes.
So. It's all the first reading, we just need, we'll do the second reading. Greg, do you have anything you want to chime in? Or anybody want to take a break or whatever you guys want to do?
Trust it real quick.
Yeah. Amy, I do not at this point in time. I'm assuming you're going to open it up for department heads. Next.
We can do that. Or do we want to do it after the reading or during the reading? Because this is where we're going to be changing everybody's lines.
That's perfect.
Yeah, we probably should do it during.
The total revenue
Sorry,
that we're looking at.
I do not. Do you have the total revenue? But besides you, Greg, I do not.
Grand total revenue?
Yes, sir.
You mean compared to the 48 million? No, I don't have that at my fingertips. have to. I'm not sure. That's something I could get in a few minutes here. Taking into account all the grant funds and things like that. So that makes it, I don't know if I can do that.
I can get to it. Extra one D? No. You need it. I can email.
Obviously, Amy, I have it by fund, but I don't have all the small grant funds.
I don't have all the small grant funds.
Right, so you wouldn't have a number comparable to 48 million.
It's everything but the general should offset, right? Or do we
Well,
have?
the health department, your tax ones won't, so that's your general.
Guess what I'm looking for is where we're sitting at with income versus spend and what we need to do one way or the other. Just want to make sure that we're not. That's in the budget, it's not sustainable. I know I looked at Greg's stuff before.
Amy, if we're gonna read the totals again for this, for the first read, we can get the revenues for each of the major funds that show up on your spreadsheet.
Okay, that's what I'm getting at now.
Yeah, and go through those as we read the grand total.
For the general. See, it's hard to do because part of your revenue is your property taxes.
Right,
So
And
our
that's-
miscellaneous revenue for next year is gonna be $9 million.
that's why I said it was total general was projected to be 16.5 with property
Well,
taxes.
I can pull up the sustainability report, which is what Greg sent.
Just gotta say, everybody looks so happy out there. Excited.
So, you are, not the most exciting.
It's not. I woke up with a headache. It's just getting worse.
So
It helped outside.
what's on the screen right now, Jeremy? Is projected revenues. So it's projected revenues for 26 is 19,127,786. That's for the general.
Amy, the public is not seeing it.
I know. I don't
Okay.
know how to share it. Well, the public here is seeing it. Public on the Zoom is not. I'm sorry. Unless I can get my. I'm not I'm not,
You want me to hold your screen up to the
would you,
projector out there?
would you?
Yeah, I will.
That's the only way I know to do it, because my reports are on a different computer, Greg. They're not on the same one I'm doing Zoom on.
I understand.
I've
And,
got the sustainability report pulled up, Greg. That's what I have pulled.
and so you should have around 16,224,000 as projected for 2026.
You've shown.
You showed 19 million.
That 19 is what our first reading total was.
No, I'm sorry. That's what you're showing for expenses. I thought we were
I'm
talking
sorry.
revenues.
Let me get to the revenue. I thought I was on the revenue.
Yeah.
I think you just the next page from that.
There you go.
Go back one.
Right?
Back one. Dang.
I'll put it as that.
Wait, me to hold it up.
So, I borrow some, come on, I'm gonna borrow some.
There,
Flower bomb.
yeah, that's revenue.
There was
Not bad.
16,073. So that's our projected revenue for general, Jeremy. That's with tax,
Being that be from. Is that
taxes and other revenue.
other
Is that
revenue?
including the additional jail
No,
lit?
No.
So it's that plus roughly 700?
Yes.
Right?
17,500 and some
Ish,
change.
yeah.
Bit of a problem.
come back, it's divided. Insurance, 12,000.
Put the insurance in this one,
Mhm.
as long as the insurance perpetually.
Which we probably don't have insurance under surveyor because.
Yeah, we do.
It's part of the general.
So.
Well, we do.
Yeah. So. Steve, make sure.
This is switch spots, so you can see my hair.
I mean, like I don't smell it on my.
Any more questions?
Together. I don't know, I was better than stinking.
I can see. Well, it smells like rice. You've got.
Some boy.
Going to be 16. Right.
It's that in like.
It's the biggest short.
This is Cindy thinking in the.
Right.
I think that's how.
8%.
I was like,
Was it 8.3%.
Yeah, with an expense line of 19.1 and a revenue, projected revenue of 17.1.
Yeah, and if I may, counsel, my suggestion is we not go through and add up all of the different funds and compare it to the 48 million. Because for instance, the highway fund and some of those, you should do them fund by fund because those funds would help make it look better when maybe it's not. So it's best to go fund by fund with the revenues.
We've never read revenues. Okay, you guys ready for the second reading?
Yep.
So the second reading, is what's in red is usually what all you read. And then read the new totals. And the reason that they're in red for the ones that came in late is because those are knocking it down just to the 3% raise from what they requested. So
When are we gonna have?
what I would do is I would read each budget here, like the clerk, and see if the clerk wants to talk. Read the auditor and then see if the auditor wants to talk.
We'll just read the ones that are changed, right? The red
Yes.
need to be changed. All right. All right, so should we start with the clerk? So we do it by account. Each, so account 11010. On the second reading, that will be 42,323. The Account 12140 will be 50,513. Account 12190, it'll be 42,323. Account 12200 will be 28,312. Account 12210, it'll be 49,941. And account
44,000.
44,941.
You said 49.
44,941, account 12230, 42,323 for a total personnel is 318,168. And for a total budget for the clerk for 338,160, adjusted from 345,579. Jill, you wanna, anything to say? Auditor, count 12010 will be now 49,041. Account 12130 be 49,041. Account 12150 will be 50,513. Account 12160 will be 40,977. Account 12170 will be 40,977 for a total auditor budget of $1,039,990. Anyone for the auditor's office want to expand it? Treasurer?
He's looking up.
Oh. Yes, we'd like to do that. So that's no. Treasurer, account 12010, 50,513. Account 12151, be 11,367. Account 15170, 22,734. For a total treasurer budget $170,986. Recorder, count 12010 will be now 46,185 for a total recorder, total personnel of 110,838 and a total recorder budget of 113,988. Sheriff. The claims deputy account 12150 will be now 46,289. For records clerk 12,600, it'll be 44,940. The office manager 12610 will be 50,513. Account 12630 will now be 46,289. Account 12640 will now be 42,323 for a total personnel amount now of 3,302,636. For a total sheriff budget now of $4,529,895. Surveyor. Account 12117, now 24,903 for a total.
Discuss that real quick, or do we want to wait?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
He's on here also, Jeff is.
Okay.
You guys have questions for him?
I wanted to propose on the new positions that we discussed. Putting a pause on those for 6 months. No, it's not a lot, but should save us about 50,000 there. We push those out. Cut each one of those in half.
We could do that. We would just have to do additional appropriations
If in 6 months we.
in 6 months.
So then just, you're saying cut it out?
You would have to cut, you can leave it in there. But you can also cut it. If you leave it in there, pretty much saying it's okay. I mean, in my eyes.
Right, that's why I said I would like to,
So if you want to cut it out, then you would just do additional appropriation next year. The budget, am I speaking right, Greg?
Absolutely. If you really should cut it out, just give it 6 months and then we would do an additional, and that's not that hard, Amy.
No, it's not. That's what I'm saying. I think
Yep.
if you want to wait, you need to cut it. Because if
You need to cut.
not, it's in their budget and it looks like they get to spend it. So, I mean, we are on the hiring chill, but if, in my eyes, if you're approving this, then you're saying it's okay for them to hire. So that's up to you guys.
so make a motion to cut.
Hang on, Jeff, are you on there?
I am on here, guys. I do apologize. I'm not in town this week, so I'm having to do this via Zoom. But my concern, and I think I've done a fair job in kind of pleading my case here on and I am needing help. There's no question about it. We've been kind of back and forth with looking at hiring part-time versus full-time. The part-time pool that I can pull from employee wise is very limited for what we're talking about here. And I mean, I am willing and have shown that, we can, I can supplement this position that I am pleading for here. I don't know how else to phrase it. Through the section corner perpetuation fund on a 50-50. So I'm certainly not putting all the cost of this position on county general. And I'm really, I mean, whatever I could do to obtain this position, I'm certainly willing to do. And if that were the case that we put a 6-month hold on this, then I guess I'd have to have a conversation with Amy or with Donna here to figure out, do we still have our part-time position and how's that affect my totals in both my section corner perpetuation fund and my surveyor account that comes out of county general. So I think that would really need to be looked at and discussed to how we might handle that, because I proposed in my initial budget a full-time position coming out of county general or a part-time position coming out of county general. And I'd have to look back at my own numbers here too to see how we had that set up. But I do know that it was, I mean, it's kind of complicated to how we handle this. So if there is any possible means that I can get this position, I am willing to do what I need to on my county general budget. As I have stated multiple times before, the concern in taking this entirely out of section corner perpetuation fund is, number one, is I wouldn't be able to do that for an extended period of time. I mean, I'd bleed the count dry. Secondly, is in being able to be within the confines of State Board of Accounts and what is an acceptable use of those monies, being the section corner perpetuation fund. That person would have to be limited to doing section corner perpetuation work only to keep myself legit with the intended use of those funds. And that's not all that I need help with. I need help with that, but that's not all that I need help with. So I really need to be able to get this position created. If you saw me now, I'm begging to make this happen. I do ask that we come up with a solution to how we can make this happen for the 2026 budget.
Amy, do you have anything that shows like what he's talking about as far as like the difference of what it is?
So we put 50% of a full-time person in the general and we put 50% of it in the corner perpetuation. So what you see here from the 24,903 is budgeted in his cornerstone, which is in the packet that says commissary on the front. And it's Fund 1202, if you want to go back to that packet. Now, Mike, what's the total cost a year for insurance?
About 9,500, but
So we could take the group insurance out of the general fund because he has 12,000 budgeted.
if he's gonna need to request his part-time position, which
It's-
is 30,000.
He has 15,000 requested in here for a part-time person.
We want to bump that back.
Well, if he doesn't get his full-time, yes.
He doesn't get, and this is the
What
thing,
was it last year?
Well, but he
Part-time,
he never,
he didn't get one.
didn't fill it last
that's what I'm saying. He'll want to fill it at 28 hours a week because he never did fill it last year. So if he fills it and increases that back up to 20 hours a week because he needs this position, you're talking a difference of maybe less than $20,000. And if you split that, it's 10,000 for perpetuation and 10,000 out of county general is really what you're looking at.
That's what I was trying to, thank you.
So we can remove the 12,000
Difference between
out of general.
part-time and full-time is really about $10,000.
I'd like to say, I know we're on a chill and all this, but I know this office is understaffed, backed up,
Agreed.
a lot of things. And if we're gonna use some of that money, ARPA money on, I mean, this affects everybody, whether you go to the surveyor or not. It affects real estate, it affects a lot of things. And so that's my 2 cents. Find the money and give Jeff a second person because like I said, he can't field it part-time.
Wholeheartedly agree, and Jeff needs a lot of credit for what he's done stepping into this role that was not being done previously. A lot of these large scale projects that we've had, the drainage, that type of thing was not being addressed accordingly. And he is doing that, and in doing so, his time is being put into valuable places, and that is why he is begging for someone else to do all of the other thing. It really is more than one person can do,
And I
do
think-
appropriately.
I understand that. We just have to find $1.5 million to cut. I mean.
This affects his position affects the whole county. And there is a lot of people with drainage issues that probably wish that they were addressed accordingly prior to. So I think it's imperative that this not be where it's at.
If I may, real quick too, like I said, if there are areas in which within my budget that I can make adjustments to accomplish this, I am openly stating that I am willing to address those and make those adjustments. I definitely am desiring to get this position created and filled as soon as I can, being the first of 26.
I appreciate that. I think we're gonna have to have a discussion across the board. To start to look at these numbers.
You can leave it in for the second reading because we still have another reading if you want to cut it in the third after you guys have discussion.
But is there a motion to remove it?
I make a motion to approve that.
But I think we could not.
It's already in there.
It's already in.
It'll stay.
I'm sorry, I was just
You have to
asking.
make a motion to remove it.
Sorry. Double.
You know, we'll come back to it on third reading if we need to.
All right, so then that brings the total,
And so we can
Personnel.
look at the group insurance. If you guys want to, because he has all of it.
Never done.
Budgeted in the,
If they keep the position, they'll need that group insurance.
he just said group insurance was only like $9,500.
That's for the employee only plan. We don't know what, we don't.
Okay. Yeah. I thought you were saying that's what you budgeted. Okay, never mind.
the total personnel budget for surveyor, $104,624 for a total surveyor budget of $119,574. Coroner, count 15,000 will be 31,828 for a total personnel budget of 144,695 and a total coroner budget 285,370. Assessor, count 12,010, now 43,414. Account 12,011 is now 46,288. Account 12,030 is now 41,639. Account 12,040 is now 40,517. Total personnel budget 243,948. A total assessor budget of 256,745.
Real quick, why did the field assessor go up? All the rest went down. Okay,
Might be a step increase.
okay. I just it stood out to me. That's all.
That's from the first reading to the second. reading.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a step increase. For next year.
okay.
Did we go up? We go up from first to second?
Yeah, I mean, because your total overall budget's gonna go down.
He's saying that the first reading, 12,030 was under 41,000. The second reading, it's over 41,000.
I might have just forgot her step increase, the first one. I don't know why it's wrong, but that's what it's gonna be for step increase.
Do we have to do it at the 40 and then we'll have to do an appropriation for the extra?
No, because you just wanna look at your total budget.
Just the total budget.
Total budget. So if we were at 19 million, that's what we first budgeted. We can't go up to 19,000,001.
We can move it around.
19,100, we can go down, but even though something else is gonna increase. I just made that one up. I don't know. Sorry.
All right, so then we'll leave that as it's written here in the second. Reading is 41,639. Good catch, Kyle. And then, yes, that'll be total assessor budget will be the same at 256,745. Prosecutor. Count 12,159, be 50,513. Account 12191 will be 44,942. Account 12,202 will be 48,740. Account 12,240 be 47,616. Account 12,261 will be 49,042. For a total prosecutor budget now of 712,803. You want to say anything, Brad, if you're on here, right?
Great.
Right, I'm on. No, those numbers are correct, I believe, under the latest request from you all.
You. Extension account 11,014 be 43,883. Account 11,140 be 43,631 for total personnel of $126,064. Makes the total extended office budget $318,324. Veterans Service Officer account 11,015 be 42,373. The total personnel budget will be 42,373. And the total Veteran Service Officer budget will be 43,373.
That's not right. Right? Oh, yeah, it is. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's 42 to 43. Sorry. Yeah.
All right, election. Count 11,016. Is that a change or is that just?
Well, that was just something to look at. You guys had talked about that in the financial meeting.
It bumped up from 2,000 to 4,500. I'd like to make a motion and take it back to the 2,000 that it was last year.
You want to give some context just to remind us that why you want to do that?
It was the only increase we had in stipends. It was requested.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
How many come from the state then? Yeah.
Those opposed?
So I'm sorry. So this is for the clerk voter registration.
So the stipend that she gets, for letting people come over there and register. Last year it was 2,000 and then this year she's asking for 4,500.
Let me, yes, let's revote that. So all in favor of the motion to reduce the $4,500 requested stipend down to 2,000 was last year, say aye.
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 All opposed? All right, so that motion passes 7-0. The election deputy will now be 4,614. And I guess to correct it then, the account 11,016 will now be 2,000 as opposed to 4,500. If we make the total personnel would be 2,004 and 459. Does that sound right?
I just made it.
That's right.
You would change 204,459.
4,459. Makes the total election board
299,119.
299, 119. Commissioners, count 18,210. 854,891.
Explain that.
So I have a formula built in here because the social security curve come out of the commissioner's budget
Everyone.
for everyone in the general, yes. So every time we change something, it'll change this number. So the number Brett just read was actually different than what I have on here now because I moved that down to 8,000.
Change, yeah.
So it's 854,700 now for social security and 811,903 for PERS.
Can you read that last one?
811,903. It should be on your guys' screen here. These are-
That'll stay. It's the social security that'll change.
And PERS, because that would have been a PERS.
Or didn't change?
You just said the same number for perf that you have listed. 811,903.
Should have changed. I don't know why it didn't change, but okay, leave that one.
All right, so then that 18,210 per will be 81,903.
811,000.
811,903. Got it.
Then the new personal is 1,964,397.
Commissioners personnel, the budget now will be $1,964,397. And the total commissioners budget will now be $2,104,997.
Yep.
I see you're reading off the screen. Our plan commission down 12,610 will now be 44,940 for a total personnel budget of 177,020 and a total plan commission budget of 252,220. Courthouse count 11,200 will now be 41,873 for a total supplies budget of 149,097 and a total courthouse maintenance budget of 474,369. Superior Court 1. Count 12,123 reporter is 50,513. 12,133 the bailiff is 50,513. The 12,155 account is 50,513. The total personnel budget for Superior Court 1 is now 169,339. Bringing the total Superior Court one budget to 270,139. Superior Court 2, account 12123, 50,513, account 12133, 46,185, account 12145, 50,513, account 12156, 46,185, for total personnel budget of 389,412, and a total Superior Court 2 budget of $499,012. The magistrate, account 12123, 49,863, account 12155, 4942. That's $49,042 for a total personnel budget of $99,505 and a total magistrate court budget of $114,405. Circuit Court, count 12122, 46,185, 12132, 49,043, 12144, $49,043 for a total personnel budget of $169,271 and a total circuit court budget of $201,971. Probation, account 12610 will be $49,778, bringing the personnel budget to $738,641. And the total probation budget to $815,486. Public defender, account 1107 will be $50,513. Account 12159 will be $49,977. Total personnel budget of $733,924 for a total public defender budget of $773,914. Emergency management, 13102, deputy director, 44,693. Total personnel budget, 160,663 for total emergency management budget of 221,902. Human resources, account 31101.
That needs to stay. He just told me that, so we don't need to change that because that was one I had highlighted to look at. But she still needs, I thought since we weren't going to do the salary analysis anymore, we could cut that, but she uses it for other things.
For Title VI harassment training, plus we have to do additional sexual harassment training for travelers insurance renewal this year.
For the jail. Count 11,152 will be 46,289. Account 12,171, $41,062. Account 11,200, 62,749. Account 11,250 will be 58,451. Account 11,270, $42,032. Account 11,280, $44,633. Account 11,401 will be $52,718. Bringing the total personnel budget.
We have a new position there as well. It's not highlighted.
Litigator.
Jail navigator.
And I think, same with what I was discussing on the surveyor, I think it's something, see value in it, I really do. But we gotta make a cut. So I'd like to make a motion to take that out of the budget and discuss it after 6 months.
All right, there's a motion. Second.
Second.
Motion in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
So that would 5-2, motion fails. Yes, 2-5. The total personnel budget for the sheriff would be $2,551,817. For a total jail budget of $3,814,445.
Real quick, I'd just like to explain my vote on that. I think it's a necessary position too. I'm just kind of with Jeremy. So I just want everybody out there to know it's not a personal thing against this position. It's just,
I don't know.
it's money related and we're trying to find, so I just wanted to say that.
I'm in the same boat. I don't want any of these cuts. You have to find it somewhere.
All right, so soil and water, the account 12110, and that'd be $44,940 for total personnel of $44,940. Total soil and water budget of $55,290. Prosecutor 4D, count 1107, 46,185. Account 12165, $49,041. Account 12204, $44,842, that's $942. For a total personnel of $221,262 and a total 40 prosecutor of $22,262.
21,000.
Yeah, they get.
221 and 262. Yeah.
He's reading the account. I did it on that.
A what? It's a lot of men.
So then the new total grand budget, it's on right here on the screen. You want to read that?
Don't we have to do the health department too?
Yeah, but we'll do
General.
Got it. Yeah, so that would bring, at the second reading, the total general budget, $18,981,233.
Ben, do you still have a meeting at 9:30? Well, I was gonna see if they would move you in, but real quick, skip to the highway.
It's that.
Go.
All right with that.
Yeah.
He's got his NDOT meeting. I know he needs to talk. Skip the highway. Should have their own little packet.
You want, come on up?
I went through it, you know, want to pass it around, maybe.
One down, that's correct. Okay.
Good morning. My name is Ben Taylor. I represent the County Highway Department. So I want to start by saying that we appreciate the council working hard to do a 3% increase. I'm here today to ask to allow the additional 3% for the LTCs and COMMOTs. In this case, has justified the recent salary analysis and the fact our department is funded through the Highway 1176 fund, not the general fund. Therefore, this request does not impact any other county department budget or salary. There's been a lot of changes since the numbers you guys have looked at here. I went through with Amy and tried to update those. And at the current numbers you guys had, the 2026 budget and just the 3% increase was estimated to be $1,818,116. After updating the employee wage charts to reflect our current workforce, this additional 3% would only bring the total to $1,833,914. So by giving the LTCs and COMMOTs, the Highway Department, this additional 3% is just a modest increase of $15,798. Like I said, this does not affect any other, the general fund, any other department by granting this increase.
And you guys are pretty much, I mean, as far as pay for your LTCs, you're pretty, I mean, as far as counties next to us, I mean, it's kind of low.
We are underrated. So the full salary analysis, the recommendation just for CDL drivers was a recommended increase of 7.31%, non-CDL drivers of 9.05% was the full analysis increase. Our LTC ones, which are the foremans and the head mechanic was an 8.49% increase. So what we're requesting is just a 3+3, not full analysis.
He's requesting what was in the first reading to stay.
Okay, and then none of that'll come out of the general budget.
That's general
That's-
expenditure. Greg, would you like to chime in on this or?
Yes, the highway restricted, 1176. The
That's not-
project,
Not non-restricted, 1176.
1176 is not restricted.
1173 is the
unrestricted,
restricted.
1176 is the one we're talking about.
Yes.
Correct, yeah.
Correct. And so the revenues are projected around 3,000,006. This is 4,000,003. But we've got to go back and I've got to bring your attention that obviously your highway department was very, very conservative in the past. And Diane does an absolute fabulous job, but we need to come back and reconcile sometime this total request, because normally you spend about 75 to 66%. Your cash balance, there's no doubt, is the highest it's ever been at 6.7 million at the end of 2024. So can you possibly sustain in the future the 15,000? Absolutely. This is a fund that, has more cash, has about half or maybe 3/4 of the amount of cash that the general fund has. So, but at some point in time, the 4,393,000 needs to be more in line with actual spend. If you understand, we're in 2024, we only spent 66% of the budget. So that gives you a heck of a, so that is one where council, I said, if we lined up their revenues, again, it would show another $1 million shortfall. But when he's got 6.7 million in the bank, and I know the 4.3 is probably too high based upon all of the analysis in the past. I hope you understand that explanation.
A lot of his, that comes back, guys, is in salaries, and that's because he can't keep people. And so the salaries aren't being spent. That's what I was gonna look at here.
That's like I say, why I updated this, we've had 4 employees this year retire, 2 more that were long-term employees, moved to different career paths. We've hired in some new people. Obviously, that cost difference of paying a 5-year or 10-year person compared to a higher end rate or a 1-year person has reduced it. We do have 28 full-time employees, 5 of them part-time. This only covers about 19 of the employees, just the LTCs and the ComLots.
See, he has one position right now that they paid nothing out of this year. If you look on here, it still has the 48,000, and that's just because they're hard.
Nobody wants to come and work.
Even the numbers that we had that Amy pulled at the end of June, we still had 68% of our budgeted salary unspent at the end of June. So we were still 18% ahead
Yeah,
of
so
what was
I mean,
budgeted this year.
Amy, that line just rolls over.
it just rolls back into their.
To their-
And that's what Greg was saying, we need to get better at budgeting that, but they like to always budget the vacant positions so that if they can fill them, they can.
Right.
So that's why he always has quite a bit that dumps back in there.
It's probably good for the highway department to have a pretty good cushion, right, in case they
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
implement things that
I
happen.
mean, last year we had that bad snow and yeah, they got paid a little more than they were supposed to. We got it fixed now. That was a fix in the handbook. It was kind of deceiving. So that took a big hit on their overtime and stuff, but
But even all that was still calculated into the,
The budget.
68% unspent in June, all the overtime paid out in the beginning of the year was part of that. So had that excessive amount of overtime not been paid out, we probably would have had substantially more than 68% of our salary budget unspent.
Can you explain how much, real quick, how much, when we had talked to you, it said, like, we're paying to send them and get their CDL. How much does that cost?
It does not cost the county anything.
Okay.
So with us being a municipality, fortunately enough, Indiana LTAP and Ohio LTAP have assisted in allowing us to do the new recommendation or the new requirements are a minimum of 20 hours of online training, which we do pay them an hourly wage to be in the conference room and complete that training. Then they're required to do 5 hours of NCAB training with a state certified NCAB trainer. One of our foremans went through 4 days of online classes and 2 in person to become a state sponsored NCAB trainer. Upon the completion of those 5 hours and some drive time around the parking lot, on a road course where we set up, then they go take their test. They are required to pay that $200 fee themselves. But the county does pay for their CDL physical, which is a requirement of the state, every 2 years a minimum. But that, as Jeremy and I have discussed, the problem, like Decatur County, we work closely with them. They have the same program. They set up a lot of the issues they're having is they're bringing people in, training them to get their CDL. Our starting pay with a CDL is around $21 an hour. So they are quickly, once they have a little experience, moving on. We fortunately have not had that as of yet, but we have 4 people in the process of gaining their CDLs, and I think they all intend on staying and don't plan on moving on. But it, unfortunately, with our low pay scale, it's very enticing to people when they're offering substantially more money on an hourly basis other places once you have that commercial driver's license.
Amy, this may be a Greg question to be answered. When a position isn't used, shouldn't that be given back to the general fund at the end of the year?
In the general fund, yeah.
The role
They're not in the general fund.
The money, it does, his would go back into his. Our general goes back into our general.
if his employee is not used, right?
Correct, correct.
We receive that back at the end.
Not his.
No,
Because he's not-
But he's a total.
In theory, yes. If it's not used, it would go back into whatever's assigned to the general fund would go back into the general fund, and highway would go back into the highway fund.
Where's the highway fund paid from?
The state.
From the highway fund, but they get state money every month. It's not a property tax fund. It's state funded.
That's why he's just,
The only property tax that the highway department receives at all goes into the cumulative bridge account to be used for culverts and bridges.
And that's part of this.
Aside from Cume Bridge, we receive no local tax revenue, I believe. Is that correct, Greg? Because MVH is dispersed into Highways 1176 fund and disbursements monthly due to center lane miles, registration, taxes paid. That's all dispersed. And then local road and street, I believe mostly comes from gasoline tax. So those are all 3 separate accounts. In the 1176, the highway fund, all money brought in through the MVH, the motor vehicle highway, is automatically required by the state to be split into half, 50% in 1176, 50% in 1173. That's what Greg was referring to earlier. The 1173 account has to be spent on construction, reconstruction, maintenance, or preservation. It is very clear in the legislature's IC code that is what it has to be spent on. The other 50% that goes into 1176 is what we're allowed to pay employee salaries out of, trucks, janitorial supplies, stuff around the shop. That's where that funding goes, and it is not restricted to the 1173, the guidelines that, are required to follow to spend that money.
Ben, the only thing I'll add to that is the wheel tax goes into 1176 of 1.3 million. And that's very important and has helped your county MVH fund achieve what it's achieved.
That's still not a property tax.
Right. Separate.
So Ben, are you requesting that your highway commots be paid the salary analysis too?
No, full analysis, just the 3% plus the 3%. Yep.
My question would be, if you are entertaining that, then are you only gonna entertain that then for highway department? And if we do that, there's LTC positions in the jail and there's LTC positions in the facility department. So,
Require an additional.
right.
What I suggest, just because we used to have,
Salary analysis, I'll have to, if that's what you guys are gonna entertain, I'm gonna have to break it out.
we, 1 year or 2 years, I can't remember, Donna, it was probably 4 years. We used to have a LTC highway chart and just a regular LTC. So that's maybe what we have to go to. I personally, and nothing against the CMOTs that are out there, think they should stay on the regular CMOT,
Yeah,
and not do them.
That's what you said.
And there's only 2 of those that are in that.
A suggestion.
Yeah, I would leave the CMOTs at what everybody else is gonna get.
Those are
And then,
administrative positions.
yeah, and then the LTCs, we just separate the highway out from the other LTCs and do a separate chart for that.
A LTC, if that's something you guys want to entertain.
Are the highway employees the only ones that are not paid out of the general?
No, there's other employees that aren't paid out of the general. But they're not LTCs, they're CMOTs. Because we got the health department.
Essentially, Ben, this is not coming out, or you guys, it's not coming out of the general budget, right? It's coming out of your own budget. You want to do this to retain these people and hopefully keep them around. And whether it's going to be a bad winter or not, if he doesn't have the drivers and the personnel, everybody's going to be complaining at the county about the roads. So I'm just trying to lay it out as I think this is okay to break the rule of not giving more than a 3% increase, or I don't, that's the right way to say it. So that's my designation on it. I don't know.
Donna, does that affect other departments? If we went and we did that?
It does. Well, it will not if we break out highway and put highway LTC in their own category. It will,
You have to make another salary chart.
right, on the salary and on the salary ordinance that is approved. If this is something you are entertaining.
That's the salary.
Salary ordinance, it will be broken
We
out.
just have LTC and then have another drop down that would say highway. LTC.
You guys see on that second page, I don't think it ever got changed back, next to the drivers, it says HLTC. I believe that was originally done on the spreadsheet, to verify highway LTCs is a separate. But that chart was changed. They got everybody up to the same scale, but it's what.
LTC, there's only LTCs, correct me if I'm.
I was asking that,
We have one in the courthouse. And then we have 4 or 5 over at the jail, they're cooks and they're maintenance people. So and I don't think there's any LTCs in any other departments besides the jail and the maintenance.
Yeah, and I think it is important to point out that this isn't apples to apples with general funds. Too, this is, would just be different. I think if we could look at other areas, if there were other streams of revenue that we could consider getting employees more, it would be a different story. But yeah, so anyway, any other discussion or questions about this? Make a motion?
I'll make a motion, but I've got to ask first. My brother works out the county garage, so I probably want to.
You probably should abstain.
Okay.
So somebody else.
I'll make a motion to accept Ben's request of adding an additional 3% on.
Just leaving the second reading at the first reading amounts, because that's what it is.
I'll make a motion to leave.
I have one question before you do that. Is there any other, before we make that motion, is there any other department that has this ability to fund and is paying none? Because you set a precedent, and I just want to make sure that we're not opening that up to, okay.
And it would be excluding CMOTs.
And I understand.
Excluding.
The exclude.
Let me put that in there.
I understand and I support it too. I just, before we voted on it, I just. Okay, Kyle.
Okay, so
What's my motion?
leave the second reading as is except for CMOTS.
Just say for the LTCs.
Yeah, I make a motion for the LTCs. Great to have them.
I second, and I would also just like to applaud you as a leader that you really have went out of your way for your employees to make sure that you have their back. So
Thank you.
I think that's awesome.
We're trying, I mean, I know everybody always needs more money and it's not the 7 to 9%, you know, that they were hoping for, but I think the 6% gives a gesture that we are trying our best as a community to get them to a competitive level.
Especially if you'll communicate with them that not everybody else is getting.
Right.
You know, not that they're special, but you know.
And this is something that I hadn't talked to anybody about other than the management out there. We hadn't explained it to anybody. I know you guys have very hard decisions to make with the changes in funding out of your control from the legislature. That's why I wanted to make the case that it's not coming out of property tax, general fund, et cetera.
That, I think you.
Yes, we have a motion in the second to adjust this as stated. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion passed.
Abstain.
Oh, and then one abstain, 6-0-1. Motion passed. You want to make those corrections to this first before I start reading? Because
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Amy, question, do we need to go over restricted and LRS while Ben's there?
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
Let's come back to highway for the reading. I just wanted to try to get him out for his meeting. You don't have anything else on Cume Bridge or anything, right? Okay. So if you guys want to go ahead and read, Cume Bridge, local street and restricted, I'll fix this.
Highway.
anyone has it, they want to read it.
You ready? How we doing?
Yeah.
Right here, I got it. I'll read it. It's the same as the last one, right?
Yeah,
If there's no changes, then you don't.
Have to read. So we don't have to read King Bridge. No change.
Don't change the highway restricted.
Any of us.
Nope.
If you just want to wait for me to finish.
Okay.
Good job.
I think I have it, but
So,
somebody wants to start reading.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at the screen, so you won't get all confused.
so on highway, it'll be account 12501, which is now 45,511, which brings the total administrative personnel to 263,557. And then the total administrative budget, 294,357. Budget 12333.
The same.
That's the same.
And click. That bottom.
Same, so that will be the same.
The other one.
All right, and then account 12158 will be now 46268. Bringing the total general personnel to 1,170,041. Total general budget, 1,760,841, and the total highway budget,
$336,472.
I want to check something.
So there was only one that changed
No, those are the
under the general. Personnel.
Two.
two. And those are the two comots that we.
Which one was it? 12158?
12158 and, up in the 0530, it was the second deputy. Two,
And then
very beginning of the highway.
what was the personnel final?
For the general, the 0530,
Uh, 0533.
0533, North of 1,170,041. So their total new budget is 4,336,472.
I mean, just not only raise that budget 2,000 and
I didn't even raise the budget that
Oh,
way.
it did.
It's still,
I've got something wrong.
Yeah.
I'll, for the thing,
Yeah, I would say that's not.
it's like girl math.
Happened.
yeah, I have something, oh, here's part of it.
There you go. I was like, hang on a minute. What was all this discussion about,
I
right?
know, that's what I was thinking. I was like,
Keep it on everybody.
Just go up to the mechanic, you X out the first reading.
I didn't have it in there in the first.
Oh, okay, good.
People watching.
Yeah.
There you go. 4,440,677.
Oh, so did the total general, did that change too?
Yeah, because I forgot,
So total general of $1,812,046,
yeah,
and the total highway budget, $4,440,677.
okay. Back to the health department.
And so health department, count 12610, now 50,513. The total personnel budget, $586,052. Total health department budget is now $710,829.
Council, the projected revenue for the health department is approximately 600,000 rounded.
Cuts.
Greg, that revenue being from tax money or is this from the state?
No, the majority of this fund is tax revenue of
So they're-
581,000 or about.
So they're over budget. They can't fund that. I mean,
So in the sustainability, we had them going a negative 3,000 if all revenue holds. The property tax is 581, but their circuit breaker is going up significantly to 77,000. So
they also
basically
did,
500 in property.
they did not submit a budget last year, right?
They did on this one.
Okay, on this one.
Other funds, they did not
Okay.
this year.
This is 1159, correct?
Yeah, this one is the tax rate. The ending balance, like you said, is an estimated negative 3,000. So they do have other funds. I don't know if the other funds can take over any of these. They have grants. They have that huge grant that did get cut, but I don't know if they can pay any of these salaries out of there. I don't know. I bet he's out on.
I think that needs to be addressed for sure. I don't think that you can just submit a budget that it's 100,000 plus. Like in this environment, I don't think that's fair to any other department either to say, hey.
Right.
you
No,
know,
I mean, yeah, you don't want, it can't end in the negative. Now, whether they're gonna have money left over at the end of the year, I'm gonna see where they're spending.
And he's not on a call or here to address it.
No, my guess is he's out in the. I can try to call him. See if he is over there, but my guess is he's out in the field. Yeah. They do.
When he came, wasn't there something that he
There's
budgets for?
$10,000. Pardon?
There was something that he budgets for specifically that he said they don't use, but he keeps it in there.
It wasn't but a couple $100 though. They have, right now, they currently have. That was what now. They have $22,000, 23,000. They have 24. They have about $25,000 that's still at 100% in their budget this year, but they have not spent.
That's what we talked, that's what it was that we talked about. There's money that they
Don't
use that they're continuing to
Like they
budget
have a,
for.
they have a secretary and. Time people that they haven't spent any money out of. They have $33,000 for the healthcare, but I think that's the mosquito spider.
He does, Amy Real does,
This is,
Mrs. Roberts.
she does all the other ones. She might be able to say if there's any way we could pay other employees out of it. Contractual labor.
So Amy, I don't think there is because that other fund was cut over 25%. And I
Yeah,
thought,
because they're losing funding.
yeah. And the answer is if there's something you're not using in the 2026 budget, get it out of there.
I agree.
Yep.
I don't know, he has contracted labor for 31,000 budget
Yeah.
this year. And he spent 15,000. But then he has environmental healthcare up here for 33,000. And nothing's been spent out of that, so let me look at this one account.
And I
How
have
do you-
their average spend about 82%. So again, there is some extra that's built into the 25 budget and the 26 budget, and we need to clean it out.
What is the proper procedure for that with him not being here and having,
Who's his liaison?
We gotta wait for him.
well, but he also needs to
Well, we
man up and,
couldn't do it at the third reading.
Yeah.
Well, like we could, since he's here, or
but he gets paid well to do that.
Whoever his liaison can talk to him, get a hold of him today before the next reading. Okay, so
Lucky you.
that's the spraying that they pay out of the $33,000. That has not been paid yet this year.
it was you.
The ditch spraying for mosquitoes, right?
Mosquito spraying.
Right, well, but they spray the ditches. and
What's that other contract that you spent?
That's what I'm getting ready to look at.
Okay.
This is the health officer at the hospital that we have to pay for. So they pay for some of it, but not all of it.
Why did we pay for it?
Because we have to pay for the doctor, that is, we have to have a doctor over the health department. On the board or something like that, that we have to pay the hospital. For that doctor. And I'm honestly not sure who it is. Who it is.
It's kind of a tax city.
So those will be spent. Those two.
So should
We
we,
have current positions that aren't filled.
They're filled.
Okay.
Oh, you have to have the health officer.
But the,
But like Amy's position, I would think that that would be able to be paid out of some of the other grants and I mean, she's, I don't know that. I don't know that department very well. I mean, we're getting ready to get out of here. I don't know if you can get a hold of Susie over there and see if she can't get Robert to call us or find out where he is. I don't know. I don't know much about this department. Sorry.
speaking of grants, I think that's a good part. Maybe not the right time, but it definitely is valid right now. I think that is imperative with our department heads that, I don't, we have had the budget prior to, so maybe people have gotten a little more lax than they should with grant opportunities. And there are departments that do, I'm not saying all of them, but I know there are departments that do have the opportunity to apply for grants. And I think that going now and going forward, that is gonna be an imperative piece to these budgets.
yeah. Well, how about, let's leave this, the health department budget as we read the second reading with that one amendment for now and then flag it for the next reading, and hopefully we can get the answers before then.
It's tomorrow night, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just, so.
Are you the liaison?
Uh,
Are you the liaison?
No, I just,
no, I'm just saying, we don't have a lot of time to get
Right.
a hold of Robert and get some sort of answers.
Yeah, well, that if we don't, we may have to,
I get it. I get it.
we may have to make some line decisions.
Okay, so that's the health department. Oh, we read all
Yeah,
three.
we read that.
The assessment wouldn't have anything, Hume Bridge, nothing. Edit, wait a minute, edit. Edit, we did it for edit. And I did not move them back yet, so.
If Donna is Robert,
Anything that tracks that, Amy, like like grants, like, specifically like a field that shows each department in the grants that they receive.
oh. Don't know,
Not good problem.
what, sweetie?
No, I just wondered, like, it would be nice to
You might want
see
to
like
over here, real quick.
previously what
The second floor border.
grant money was applied for or received
Mm-hmm,
versus
Me, which
where
budget?
we are now.
1159.
1159. 1159. Yep. If you could come over, that'd be a big help. All right, thank you. Bye. He's at a conference that Susie will be over.
So see that the edit is right because part-time people and then they don't have anybody in the natural resource specialist, do they? Because
I do.
they do now. That's full-time. That's it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what's budgeted there is fine. Q cap. Safety. Tyler. So here we have changes. Back in the packet that.
Yep, community corrections. So community corrections, adult PI, fund 17,000, been now 34,122.
The budget number.
Yes, the new community corrections budget number is 329,451. Health maintenance, count
12113 be 42,327, bringing the total health maintenance budget to 234,359. Surveyor Cornerstone, account 12151, now $24,903, bringing the total surveyor Cornerstone to 94,678. Adult Probation Services, account 11152 is now 46,289, bringing the total adult probation services 234,405. Prosecutor Stop Grant, account 12159 is now 46,377. Account 18210 is now 10,916. And account 18220 is now 15,981 for a total prosecutor stop grant of 191,501. And then the Community Correction Juvenile DOC grant, account 15001 is now 47,615 for a total Community Corrections of juvenile grant of 418,574. Now it brings the total budget to $48,262,544. Okay, motion to pass budget on second reading.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, passing second reading. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 6-1.
To do a second reading on the recycling district.
For the Shelby County Recycling District, just read which.
You can just read your total if you
Yeah,
want.
so the total budget estimate, $2,647,785. That's it, right?
Yep.
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Motion. Okay, and a second, all in favor of approving the recycling district, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
CC just dropped in with the health department.
You up
CC here with the health department.
behind you. Okay. Come on up, Suzie. Be in the podium if you want. You're on trial.
Like a microphone.
Open up questions.
Okay, so what they're questioning is if we keep the whole budget for the 1159. It's estimated through our financial advisor that you guys will be $3,220 short. So you would not be able to fund your whole budget.
Hey,
There, I think some of the questions would be, is there anything that we could do out of the 1159 that be paid by a grant or is there anything that you guys might have in here that you don't need in here anymore?
There's definitely 2 grants that we can go to make up that are already budgeted for 2026. Once we exhaust our health department funds, we can go to those two grants. And we do already have several things listed under that. Office supplies, postage, things of that nature, equipment. So we could cover that. 3,500, 3,000, whatever the exact amount was with those two grants. And possibly even with Health First Indiana money that rolls over, that's left from this year. And even the nursing, with those three grants, there's still at least two more grants from nursing side that could possibly pick up. So if we wanted to take away from the health department 1159 fund, you know, we could reduce office supplies, postage. I'd need to take a look at those other grants just to make sure what we put in for next year, and we could take it out of here. If that's what you would like us to do.
You pull up the sustainability, it should. No, and that's great for this coming year in 26, but right now, our revenue is around 600,000 and our total spend is 710,000, so we're 110,000 over. And thankfully, you have $110,000
Estimated to come over.
the balance.
Yeah.
So
I think.
2027, 2028, I mean, we're going in the whole $113,000, $110,000 a year, roughly. So, I mean, for this budget, we can cover that $3,000, be great, but we can get even more off. It'd be even better because come 2027, we're gonna have to make a big step change of some sort.
Possibly even look at what funds local health departments tax-wise to see if that can be increased to cover local health departments as well.
The tax rate. Is that what you're saying?
Basically, I think, I don't quite understand the whole process there.
That's not gonna happen because it has to be one.
Uh,
That's why we're having these.
The property taxes, I believe, and those.
That's why we're just even discussing
But
using.
that has been an issue, and without the increases there, it has affected local health departments across the state of Indiana.
And
We can definitely cut down and fill in with those grant money to cover 1159 and try and shore up in the future.
Greg, did you have something?
yes, so for council, keep in mind, if we would increase the property tax dollars to make up for that 100,000, then the general fund would be $100,000 more in trouble. So I think the challenge for the health department is the way we understood, in it, Robert?
Yeah.
That he already fully budgeted the grants. What we're looking at is what is duplicated in the grant and in 1159. And we need to get it out of 1159 in 25 and 26, because it appears like you're only spending about 85% of the 710,000. So we all know the other grant fund is going to go down the following year. So we've got to really look for what things are duplicated, and I believe Robert had indicated there were some.
That's okay.
So.
Aren't you glad he's not here? He owes you lunch, at least, at bare minimum.
So do you guys want to cut something out in the second reading? Or we've already done it.
That to be the third reading.
So do you want to cut office supplies out, or? Because then you can pay for office supplies out of a different fund, right?
If like to take, you can take it out of office supplies, the 3,000 that we're short, or are you wanting to cut all of
I
it?
don't know. It's totally up to them,
I think yes, but
possibly more.
Good.
what needs to be more is what he, like, the $100,000 isn't sustainable. So that's, and like, that, I realize it stinks that he's not here, but it does need to be addressed.
That's for 2027 budget.
Right now,
We
we're.
need to start,
Mhm.
yeah, but we do need, you're right, we need to start looking to where we're gonna start paying for some of this stuff in 27.
Okay.
Or try to save as much money in this one and pay a lot of other stuff out of the other ones to leave a bigger balance in here at the end of even this year. I mean, I think your revenues are down this year.
Can you speak to why they're down?
Revenues are down. Concerning birth and deaths, you don't really know how many births are going to be in the year.
Revenue.
Okay.
New ones. For death, you don't know how many deaths are gonna occur or how many death certificates they're going to get. On the nursing side, there's not a lot of charging
Okay.
for the shots that they do and some of the several other services that they do. Food permits, we have the past several years wanted to increase fees there. When you look around the surrounding counties and the whole state of Indiana, we are very, very low compared to what others charge, even for septic permits, septic installers, the food permits. Especially when you have to go out on a septic system, maybe 2, 3, 4 times. So there are some things possibly we could do this next coming year by increasing fees to be in line with other county health departments in the state of Indiana that could help shore up a little.
Does he have any numbers on what that would increase?
Not to my knowledge, but I don't know for sure.
Those are the kind of things we need to hear. Like, these are how many permits were pulled, this is what we charge, what we could charge, this is the potential revenue.
Getting ready to send out the food permit renewal letters.
Mhm.
I'm sending about 135 of them. That doesn't include all your food trucks and mobiles, so you could have a little bit more.
What do we currently charge for this?
$100 for the full year, $50 if you're only open 6 months. And if it's a temporary, I haven't looked at that sheet for a while, but there are some that will charge a food permit by the size of the building that they're in, how many employees they have.
Uh-huh.
There's different avenues that
That makes sense.
county uses. And in some places, food permits are $200-300, same as your septic. So I can get better information on that if you would
Are we
like.
gonna maybe look at it before you would send those out? Are you going to consider an increase now?
No, I believe they would have to go to the commissioners and get approval for any fee increases.
Okay.
Fees, so there's gotta be an ordinance, it's gotta be advertised, it's gotta be, So maybe get.
But is it for next year? Is that what the renewal's for?
Yes.
So couldn't it be addressed this year? So next year we are increasing our fees?
The food permit expires 12/31 of 2025. So we send them out this early so that they have time to get to corporate, so corporate can cut the check and send it to us. It's usually why we send it this year early. So that
Is it a reminder or an invoice?
it's a reminder that if you want to. And
So
then
it could be in the letter that we're proposing an increase. Because it's their job. If it's not an invoice, it could be in there and then it could still get approved.
yes, if that's what Robert wants to do.
I think this is very much you're the lucky man, Troy, but it definitely all needs to be addressed. And there's no reason if every other county is charging $300 when every other department has had to do the same. Every department has done this years ago. And I'm sorry that you're the person who got to come in here today because I know that doesn't fall on your shoulders. So I thank you for coming over, but these are hard times for all of us. But if there's fees to be increased and other counties are paying them, I know every single department here has increased their fees tremendously to supplement their budget and to align with other counties.
We're not opposed to it.
I know that.
But it needs to be addressed instead of just rolling over every year and keeping them the same.
So maybe we get Robert.
I think if Robert can sync up with Troy, that's
Yes,
how we get it addressed.
yes.
Can we try to
Because
get?
it definitely isn't on you.
Yeah, it's not.
Thank you for
You're
sitting
sitting
over
here,
here.
yeah. Yes.
And we try to get something adopted in November so
November.
that we
Yes.
can start
Yes.
charging the new rates for the inspections. That's, you know, and then also the new fee starting January.
Yeah, and he could
1st.
easily, there should be, you know, how many septic permits are pulled, how many food trucks are pulled and the potential revenue for that. 'Cause it-
Septics is hard to predict too, because you don't know who's gonna build and who's not gonna build. But, okay, Troy.
As a
Thank you.
restaurant, as a restaurant owner, I know that permitting, you guys come out, you know, and spend the time you do in looking through the facility and such like that. Permitting fee is low, so that's one of the things that I would say, yeah, it probably could be. But for the granting, I mean, you guys go after grants, and that's one of the things I've always been impressed with the health department, the number of grants that you guys receive. So we appreciate that. Helping around the county.
Maybe I'll be sure and pass that along.
Thank you for coming on such short.
Yes, thank
Oh,
you.
where do you guys wanna cut that money from?
I think we just take it out, what the shortfall is, take it out off the supplies.
Office supplies or, supplies and environmental.
The
Which one?
211 office
Okay,
supply.
office, so you're gonna just take 4 out, is that okay?
It's fine.
We'll do that in the third reading.
I get, Amy, one other comment, if
Yes, sir.
Robert could review his actual 2025 budget and tell us what he's not going to spend, that would be awful helpful.
Yep.
And would hopefully help even more than, and again, then in 27, we absolutely have to have a right size budget.
Okay. So if you guys can look at your budget this year and see if there's any money you can get back this year that you don't think you'll spend, then that'll help towards this also.
Okay, will do.
Thank you, Susie.
Thank you, everybody.
Good,
Appreciate what you all do too as well. Thanks.
Steak dinner, by the way, not just lunch, I think.
Anything else? Would entertain a motion to adjourn?
Reset till tomorrow night.
Oh, we reset. We entertain a motion to recess.
Don't move.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. So, come on.
First at 6 o'clock.
Six o'clock.
We'll do the third reading and,
Third reading, I think just what we changed from the second reading, or did we go through?
it's just what we changed.
Just what we changed.
Reading, and then, of course, then you adopt everything in the tax rates. Stuff. Greg, you have anything for the council?
Not at this point.
I'll send everybody the new worksheet. Greg, get changes made. Jill told me she thinks I have 2 people wrong, so we may have to change that, so.
We appreciate it, Greg. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Greg.
Thank you all. Have a
Thank
good
you,
day.
everybody.
Bye.
Uh,